Hi everyone, and welcome to ENC2135 for summer 2017. If you're in section 36, that means you're enrolled in my online course. My name is Megan Dykema. I'm an instructor in the English department at FSU. I teach mostly courses in composition like this one, and this is my third semester teaching online for ENC2135. So the purpose of this video is to orient you to the class. I'm going to go over the syllabus and give you sort of a feel for what's expected of you in the course, sort of what we would do on the first day of class in a face-to-face setting. Before I get into the syllabus, I want to go through some, what I think after teaching this class online several times, are essentials for success in an online course, particularly this online course, and help you get your priorities in line so that you can be really successful over the course of the next 6 weeks, and that whether you've taken an online class before or haven't, you have all the tools that you need to be really successful. The program that I'm using to record this video is called Blackboard Collaborate. It's an important program for our course, and it's one that I recommend you download on the very first day of class so that it's ready to go whenever you need to use it. Basically what this program does is it allows us to have face-to-face conversations in real time. So you can see that I have a video I'm recording right now so you can actually see my face and know who I am. There's a microphone feature if students don't have webcams or don't want to use them. There's also a chat feature that's visible here. So it's an opportunity for us to have real-time synchronous conversations, and that's how we're going to be doing things like office hours. So I'll have a room set up that you can join, a session that you can join every week for my office hours and talk to me. This is also how I will conduct conferences with you. So I'll be able to, instead of having this blackboard here, pull up your draft and actually go over your draft with you and talk to you about it one-to-one. So it is a program that you will need to download, and sometimes it can take a little while. So I recommend, again, that you download it the first day of class, just so that you know how to use it, and so that when it comes time for you to do your first conference with me, which is going to happen the first week of class, you're not late because you were downloading the program. So one of the first things that I want to go over, what I call the 5 essentials for success in this course, online ENC2135. The first is to log into Blackboard several times each week. And that's important in a regular 15-week semester, but it's even more important in this accelerated 6-week semester. We're doing a lot of stuff every week, and so I would say log into Blackboard and do work every single day, but there are going to be some people who are more marathoners and they want to get several things done in one day, and that's fine. But I do think that several times each week is necessary for you to be successful in this course, just because there's so much going on each week. The second thing is to check your FSU email daily. It's the main way that I will communicate with you. All of the announcements from our class go right to your FSU email. And that's how your peer review partners or fellow classmates will get in touch with you to do activities like peer review. So it's really important that you check that email every single day. The third is to watch videos like this one. So this is our first little welcome video, but throughout the 6-week term, I will be posting other videos in our course library that give you information on some of the readings that sort of give what would be almost a lecture or a class discussion in a face-to-face setting. So you'll want to look at those because they often have information about how to complete assignments, what are the expectations, what are some of the grading policies. So they're very useful. So I'd absolutely recommend that you watch those. The fourth is to complete your homework and essay drafts on time. That would seem like a no-brainer. It's essential for success in every course, right? Do the work and do it on time. But in an online course, it can be really easy to lose track of things, to get behind on your homework or forget to do things for a couple of days, and then before you know it, you're really behind. Those homework assignments, I will say, do add up. The blog or the discussion posts and the journal entries, they're worth a substantial chunk of your grade. Once we get into the syllabus, you'll see that. So not doing them is really a way to tank your grade very quickly. And then essay drafts, we're turning in at least one essay draft every single week in the 6-week term, sometimes 2 drafts in 1 week. If you don't turn in a draft, that means you're going to miss something like peer review, or it means you're going to miss doing a conference with me. And it also means that your grade on the overall project is going to go down, because on every single project, we have a part of the grade that's called process. And that means, did you do multiple essay drafts? Did you revise? Did you do all the preparatory assignments to get the project done? And did you do things like peer review and conference? So not doing those essay drafts on time will really hurt your overall project grade, and it will also interfere with things like peer review and conferences, which is the 5th item on our Essentials for Success. We have a peer review for every project. I believe in peer review. I think it's a really important part of composing, particularly in a class like this where you might be writing kinds of essays that you've never written before. And it's good to sort of be able to commiserate with your peers and figure out how they're approaching the project, and be able to give them feedback as well as get feedback yourself. Electronic conferences are where you will meet with me one-on-one in Blackboard Collaborate. We'll go over your latest essay draft, and we will talk about how to help you revise it according to the project requirements and what is going on with your project in particular. So those are really important. They're part of your process grade for each project, and they're also really valuable to help you complete this project successfully. So there you have it, 5 Essentials for Success in ENC2135 online. I'm going to take us over to the syllabus now so that we can get a little bit more in depth about course policies and expectations, as well as our course calendar. Okay, so here's our syllabus. It is already available to you in Blackboard, and it will be up all semester. If there are any changes to it, I will, of course, let you know right away. Those changes usually come in the form of slight alterations to weekly assignments. These policies and details about the course itself won't be changing. So here's our course description. Some of you may have taken ENC1101, most of you probably have not, but we do build on some of the foundations in that class, the importance of using writing as a recursive process, which you've already heard me mention a couple of times, communicating ideas for specific purposes, occasions, and audiences. So in addition to those sort of fundamental skills and beliefs about writing, ENC2135 also focuses on research skills. So we have a big research project in the middle of the term that allows you to work on effectively incorporating outside sources into your writing. And we also have an emphasis on composing in a variety of genres for specific contexts, and we'll get into that with the 3rd project of the semester, which actually has you composing in 2 different genres. So we have 3 main units, 3 projects. Each one is designed to help you meet the overall course goals, helping you develop research skills, and compose in a genre appropriate for a specific context, and to have an overall awareness of genre. As you can tell by our course title, Research, Genre, and Context, genre is an important focus of this course. So we're really going to start the semester by developing a definition of genre, one that is useful for the kinds of writing, the kinds of reading that we'll be doing in this course. Not just thinking about genre in the literary sense or in the what kind of movie do I want to watch tonight sense, but in the rhetorical sense. And rhetoric is another important facet of this course. So you can see that in that first unit, you'll write an essay in which you start to rhetorically analyze different genres. So that is another thing that we'll be developing in the first week or so of class, is an understanding of what rhetorical analysis is. Some of you may have some familiarity with that already, which is great. For those of you that don't, we'll do some readings that help you to develop those definitions and those frameworks for analysis. The second unit is focused on a research paper. It is a 10-source research paper, and you're going to be relying mostly on academic peer-reviewed sources. So we will be focusing on how to differentiate academic peer-reviewed sources from popular or news sources, and then we'll be able to talk about how to evaluate sources as you read them, determine their usefulness for your project, and how to incorporate them into your work successfully. And then the final unit is the composition in two genres project. So you take an idea from your research project and then recreate that idea across two different genres. And so you'll actually be composing in genres that maybe you've never worked in before, and that's a really kind of exciting potential for a lot of students, creating things that they've never made before, like videos or podcasts or really anything that you think is useful to creating a message that you want to get across. Our course objectives are here. I've kind of talked about them already, so I'm just going to scroll through them. Our course textbook is the Bedford Book of Genres. It is an FSU edition. The latest edition is from 2016. And I would like you to use that one. It's available in the bookstore because it does have some sample readings from other 2135 students that were successful projects that we might take a look at. And then there are other readings that I will be providing to you via PDF and web links. Those will all be in the Blackboard course library. So those are, you only have to buy one textbook for this course. You can see our grade calculation is here. Your first project is 20%. Project 2 looks really hefty, it's 40%, but you can see that it's broken down into really 3 assignments. You'll do a research proposal for that project. That's worth 5%. It's an easy 5% to get if you follow the directions on that assignment. The research in progress report includes an annotated bibliography. That's worth 10% of your grade. And then the essay itself is 25%. The final project is the composition in two genres. That's also worth 20%. And then you can see the homework, the online activities, your journals, your question form, your discussion posts. Those are also worth 20% of your grade. So my comment earlier about doing the homework on time, you can see that that's going to add up really quickly. This is standard FSU grading here. No surprises in terms of how your grade will shake out. Keep in mind the college level writing requirement. You must earn at least a C- or higher in this course and on the required writing assignments in order to pass the course and not have to take it again. My grading practices are listed here in fairly concrete detail. I do use the 4-point grading system, including plus-minus grading. I would like to point out that at the university level, C-level work means average, meets the basic requirements of an assignment. So my definition of a C is usually you did the thing in its most basic form. I asked for a 1,500-word essay analyzing 2 genres. You turned in a 1,500-word essay that analyzes 2 genres. B-level work means it goes beyond the basic requirements. It does the thing well. And then A-level work shows an excellent level of development and completion. So A means you did the thing and really stuck the landing. For major projects, you'll receive a letter grade. You'll be assessed on how appropriately you respond to the rhetorical situation, meaning the assignment description and what the goal of the overall assignment is. You'll also be assessed on how you arrange the essay, how it's organized, how it's delivered, whether you wrote with a degree of audience and genre awareness, and your ability to defend your rhetorical decisions. That's going to come into play, particularly in the last project. I will give you feedback on either a first or a second draft before you submit the final draft of any project. And those drafts 1 and 2 are graded on completion and folded into your process grade for the project. Here's my late work policy. Major projects that are turned in less than a day late, so anywhere from 1 to 23 hours after the due date, are going to go down 1/3 of a letter grade. So an A to an A-, A- to a B+, etc. After the 24-hour mark, assignments are going to be deducted a full letter grade per day. So again, put those essay drafts due dates on your calendar, give them a big star, make sure that you're turning those things in on time. If the grading sounds a little intimidating right now, do take note of our revision clause. You do have the opportunity to revise projects 1 and or 2 for an improved grade. So if you turn in the final draft of project 1 and it didn't go as you hoped that it would, as long as you met all of the minimum project requirements the first time around, you turned in all your drafts on time, you did peer review in your conference, you'll be able to revise that project one more time for an improved grade. And the new grade will completely wipe out the old grade. So that's something to keep in mind as you look toward the end of the semester. That's typically when people turn those in. The only thing that prevents us from being able to turn in Project 3 one more time is just time constraints. So Projects 1 and 2 absolutely, though, can be revised. And you can see the requirements there. You'll have to turn that in to the same Dropbox that you turned it in originally and give me a paragraph describing the changes that you made to them and why those revisions are significant. Short assignments and informal writing are things like journal entries, discussion posts. They're assigned really to help you to complete the major projects. They're not just busy work. They really do help you to deal with or understand major concepts. Sometimes they give you examples of projects that are similar to what I'm asking you to do, and I ask you to write a discussion post on it. So these are important, and I hope that they're designed to be helpful in those major project completions. And keep in mind also that journals, discussion forum posts, and question forum posts do not earn credit if they're submitted late. So they are really pass-fail, and once those are turned in late, they really can't earn any credit. Technology is an important part of this course, obviously, since it's an online class. So you need to have access to a computer all the time. You really can't do well in this class if you're sharing a computer or if you don't have your own. Or at least you need to be able to go to a place like Strozier and work on a computer any time of the day that works with your work schedule, works with your other courses, so that you have regular access to a computer. Some of you might use a tablet or another device. I believe that everything that we're doing is user-friendly if you are working on a tablet or something like a Surface, but you'll want to test everything to make sure that it's going to work for you. We do use Blackboard for this course. Make sure that you've got a steady internet connection. Make sure that you've downloaded the programs like Blackboard Collaborate that you're going to need so that if you do have any trouble, you can address that early on rather than the moment when you're supposed to be logging on for a conference with me. Check your FSU email every day, and then prepare yourself for potential tech problems. I'm pretty forgiving about, you know, catastrophes like computers crashing and you lose everything. I can sympathize, but I also want you to be proactive about that. You know, buy a flash drive, create a cloud account. I swear by cloud saving, so do Dropbox or Google Drive. But the main thing I can't stress enough is that if something does happen, contact me right away. Contact me as soon as something goes wrong if there's going to be an issue, because that's much better than waiting to hear from me when I email you that you haven't turned in your paper and then you email back saying, my computer crashed. We want to be proactive instead of reactive about these kinds of things if they happen. Civility is another important clause in an online class because we live in a culture where people say all kinds of things on the internet, and we want to only say respectful things in our online class. We are in a community. We should exchange ideas freely, but we should do so in a positive way and in a respectful way. So that means that any kind of disruptive language that's sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, anti-ethnic slurs, bigotry, disparaging commentary, all of that is going to be zero tolerance. You will be talked to about it right away. Anything that you post to our course site is public writing in the sense that at least I, and often our entire class, is going to be able to see and read what you've written. So those discussion posts, your essay drafts, you're going to be going over those with a peer, and so don't publish anything that you aren't comfortable with other people reading. And you're responsible for the content that you post online and how you interact with your peers. So above all else, observe the golden rule. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. The honor policy is standard from the university. Plagiarism is also pretty standard, coming from the academic honor code. We are going to do a plagiarism assignment in week 3, I believe, week 2 or 3, so that you sort of have a clear understanding of what we mean when we talk about plagiarism, and that you're prepared to turn in all of your work free of any fear that you've maybe unintentionally done some plagiarism. If you have any disabilities requiring academic accommodation, please make sure you've registered with the Student Disability Resource Center. They will send me a letter indicating the need for accommodation, what type of accommodation you need. Do this right away, especially, again, in the 6-week term. Do that the first week of class so that we can make a plan to move forward with the rest of the term and make sure that you have everything that you need. And if you need contact information for the Student Disability Resource Center, it is all there. Okay, this section of the syllabus details several free resources that are available to you from the university. So there's ACE, Academic Center for Excellence, free tutoring. There's the Reading Writing Center, which is specifically writing support to all FSU students. The locations and hours are all there. They do offer online appointments, so if you are a distance learning student, you're not in Tallahassee, you can't get to Tallahassee, they do have online appointments available. The Digital Studio is a useful resource. It's an offshoot of the Reading Writing Center, and they focus specifically on helping students create digital projects. So looking ahead to Project 3, where you're creating 2 different genres, one of those might be a website, one of them might be an electronic portfolio, a visual essay, a video, anything like that that you may or may not be super comfortable with creating on your own. They can help you use programs like Photoshop, GarageBand, all of those kinds of tools that will help you create multimedia projects. Other resources, the MLA Online Writing Lab is here, which we're going to use when we talk about MLA format and citation, Blackboard user support, IT, all of this. So I also have included descriptions of the different online activities or different homework assignments and things like that that we'll be doing, just so that when you see it on the syllabus, you know what it means and what the differences are between the various activities that we're going to be doing. The question forum is a thread in our discussion board, and this is really, as the name indicates, a place for you to post questions, comments, and concerns about various aspects of the course. I've asked you to do a question forum this week on the syllabus and welcome video, just any questions that you have about the course after you've watched this video and read the syllabus. And so sometimes I'll say that the question form is required, sometimes it's optional, and it's also a place for you to answer each other's questions too, but I'll also be logging on to that, and we'll answer any questions that are posted there. The journals are spaces for you to individually respond to and reflect on the assigned readings for the course. They are about 200 to 400 words typically. Each one has a prompt and directions for you to follow. The journals are more private. They're the main form of writing that I'm the only one that will see. So versus the question form and the discussion posts, journals are really written just to me. So sometimes I will use those for something that has maybe only one answer, or there's an assignment like the MLA scavenger hunt that we're going to do in week 3, I believe. That doesn't really work as a discussion post because there's only one set of answers. So you'll do that as a journal so that it just goes straight to me instead of being public. Things like that. Journals are also more of a reflective space, so I might ask you to reflect on something like peer review experience or how you think you did on your first project, so that doesn't have to be completely public and go out to everyone, it just comes to me. Discussion posts are also relatively informal. They're more open-ended than journal entries, and they are public. So they are meant to mimic class discussion. So a lot of times they'll require an initial post from you and then follow-up comments on the posts of one or two classmates. And again, each of these has a prompt with specific directions. Electronic conferences with me. You'll have one for Project 1 and for Project 2. You're required to set up a time to e-conference with me regarding your rough draft. So we'll work on the first draft of your project, and then you'll do peer review on the second draft, and then you'll turn in a final draft. These last about 10 to 15 minutes. I have already posted the sign-up sheet for both rounds of conferences. So the first round is happening this week, first week of class, because you'll turn in the rough draft of Project 1, and then you'll have a conference with me. So make sure that you check that out. The link is in our weekly plans and assignments tab of the course website. So make sure that you sign up early for that conference time so that you know when you're going to conference and you are ready for that to happen. Peer workshops, they're going to happen for each major project. Essentially, how this will work is that you'll send an email to your peer review partner with your draft, and then it's up to you to decide how you guys want to do your peer workshop from there on out. You can just do email back and forth, but some people prefer more of a face-to-face. If you're both in Tallahassee and want to meet up face-to-face, that's fantastic. If you want to set up a Skype or a FaceTime session or Google Hangouts to do sort of a synchronous review activity, that's fine also. It's really up to you how you want to complete that peer review. So as long as I'm looped in and I can see that you've actually done the work, then you are fine to do that however you like. I've included a description of each major project here. I'm not going to go through those right now just because they are assigned readings for each unit. So this week, one of your readings is to go over this major project description for Project 1. So you can see they're pretty in-depth. You will be able to post a question in the question forum if you have any concerns or questions about the expectations for Project 1. Same thing with Project 2. They're pretty lengthy, extensive descriptions. In Project 2, we do have those short assignments, so I've broken those down here as well. And then there's Project 3. So you can go over those now if you like to be able to look ahead. Otherwise, each time we're coming up on a new unit, I put the assignment description as an assigned reading. So here's our course schedule. You can see it's tentative. I don't expect a whole lot to change, but if it does, I will update you, of course. So this week, I have our objectives. I want you to familiarize yourself with the course content. We're going to introduce Project 1. We're going to start thinking about genre and defining it. We're going to discuss the rhetorical situation, and we're going to complete our first draft of Project 1 and do our first conference. So here are your readings and your activities. These can also be found in the weekly plans and assignments tab of our course website. But you've got an icebreaker discussion post. You have already read the syllabus, I hope, and you've looked at this welcome video. There's a question forum that follows this up. You're going to read the Project 1 assignment sheet and do an optional question forum on that. You've got two readings, the first main chapter of the Bedford Book of Genres, and then an article called The Rhetorical Situation, which is in your Blackboard course library, and you're going to do a journal entry on that. And you're going to submit your Project 1 rough draft and do a conference with me. What's really important about conferences that I haven't mentioned yet is that your draft has to be done before you attend your conference. So whenever you signed up for your conference time, make sure that your draft is in before then. Preferably, 12 hours before then, but if you can only turn it in a couple of hours ahead of time, that's all right too. We just might be looking at it together before I've had a chance to read it on my own. So those are the kinds of things that you'll be doing week to week. I have these objectives and expectations and readings and activities listed for each week of the semester. And I also, again, have that in our course website as well, with a little bit more detail sometimes in those in the weekly plans and assignments tab of our course website. So the last thing I'm going to do in this welcome video is walk you through the different tabs of the course website so that you know where everything is and how to get to everything when you start to complete these assignments. All right, so when you log into our course website, this should be what you see. I'm in student preview mode, so I'm on your view. You can see the first announcement that I posted on Friday is already there. All of the announcements will be shown here once there are more that I send out. So you've got the different tabs here, the announcements tab, the syllabus and welcome video tab, which you've already clicked on to access this video. Weekly plans and assignments are all there. So some of it is a repeat from the course calendar, but other times I've put a little bit more detail in. So for instance, your weekly plan for this first week includes the link to sign up for a conference time. So to sign up for your first conference, just click on this link and then you'll be able to choose a time slot. If you're unable to attend any conference at any of the times on this list, if they just all don't work for you because you're working all day Friday or you have another class, make sure that you email me right away so that we can set up another time to meet and discuss your first draft before you turn in the second draft in week 2. So you can see those are all here. Sometimes I've got a document that gives instructions for something like peer review. So make sure that you're checking this out every week because even though there's no conflicting information with what's in the course calendar, there's additional information and ability for you to complete those assignments. Office hours and conferences is where you'll attend your electronic conference and also where you will come to office hours if you need to see me individually for office hour questions. So you can see there's sessions listed. You can change the dates here to find them if you need to go far in advance. But essentially, when a course session is available, it will have this little icon next to it. I'm recording this video right now, so it's available technically. But at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, my office hours will become available, and you could join the room to be able to come and see me. So I'll just show you what happens when you click on that. There will be a button here that says Join Room, and you'll be able to join my office hours. Same thing with your conference. You'll just click on the name of the session you want to join at your scheduled time, and you'll be able to join the room for your 15-minute conference. The Major Projects tab is where you will turn in all of the assignments for the major project, all of the essay drafts. I've also included the assignment sheet there, so you can either read what's in the syllabus or you can just look at the excerpt. It's just copied and pasted into a shorter Word document on the assignment sheet. Here are your draft boxes for the first, second, and final drafts. And then I've also included the grading rubric here as well. So that's the same for all of my major projects. That's where you'll turn in the major assignments. Our course library is already populated with all of our main readings. What I will be adding here are some more videos like this one. So you'll get a notification when I've added those so that you can watch them and make sure that you're up to date on everything. So you can see some of these are sample student essays. Some of them are links to web content, and some of them are PDFs. So this is one of your first readings for this week, the rhetorical situation. So you want to read that in addition to the Bedford book pages. Here's your discussion board and question forum. So you can see the question forum is just the first forum in this discussion board. So your first one is the syllabus and welcome video. Once you've read the syllabus, watch this video, post any questions that you have about the course, and what you'll do is just hit reply and ask your question. If we go back to the main discussion board, here's your icebreaker for this week. What you will do is just click on the name, and then you will create a thread. So you'll create a thread with your name as the subject, and then you'll answer the questions in the text box. And you can see that all of our discussion posts are here for you already. The journals are listed here as well. So you'll start with the rhetorical situation and work your way up to the end of semester reflection. And then the student tools page is one that's useful. You can get to things like Blackboard Collaborate and journals and everything from here if you want to. My grades is really important. That's how you'll view your grades, obviously. And then send email is going to be an important tool for you to use, because this is how you can email me, all instructor users. You could send an email out to all of the other students in the class if you need to, but you can also send an email to select users if you have a peer review partner that you need to email. So you'll actually just be able to choose your peer review partner's name from this list and then send them an email. So that is our course website, and that has everything that you need, I think, to complete all of the assignments in the course. Like I said, pretty much everything is here already. The only things that I'll still be populating in are other videos like this one for you to watch. So that's it for this first video. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, you know what to do. Put them in the question forum. And if you need to contact me as we begin the course for any other reason, like if you need accommodations or you have your own concerns about the course that you don't want to put in the question forum, just send me an email. The email's at the top of the syllabus, or you can use the send email tool that I just showed you in our course website. Otherwise, I really look forward to meeting all of you this week in the icebreaker question discussion forum and getting to know you over the next 6 weeks through working with you in your writing. And here we go. Get ready for the very intense 6-week summer session of ENC2135. I have every confidence that we will all come through it extremely successful and better off for it. Until next time.